Can it get too close, this thing? Or is that good?
No, right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Who are you? I haven't even seen your face yet.
Well, yeah, my name is Hugh Mitchell and I'm one of the WA representatives here at Foilfest. Got myself and Riley Walker is here. So yeah, we both made it all the way over from WA to come to Foilfest and it's definitely been worth it so far.
So you've had a good time, eh?
Oh man, it's been epic. The conditions have been so good. Met so many cool people. Did pretty well in the events too, because I did a lot better than I expected in both foil drive, and then did pretty well in my heats for surfing too, so made it through to the semi-finals, which I was stoked by. So
okay, epic.
Epic
now let's
trip.
get into the interesting stuff.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
21, so you're pretty young. Oh geez, see, I don't want to.
This is the worst way to walk.
We'll come walk.
Yeah, this way.
21 and you're on a tour right now.
Yeah, so
Not many people get to do anything like this until they're about 30, 40 and mature, right? How
yeah.
are you coping?
I'm coping all right. Definitely there's moments where it gets all way too overwhelming and I'm just sat there like, I can't organize all this all at once. But then there's also moments like at the end of when I show the film, I normally feel like the best I've ever felt in my entire life because people like it and then it feels like all the hard work you've put in pays off. But yeah.
So people don't get confused.
Yeah.
Just confirm what the film is.
So we did a trip up on the Ningaloo coast. We foiled from Red Bluff through to the tip of Exmouth basically. And then I decided that I wanted to film the whole thing. Maybe I should start a bit earlier. I was about 6 months before that, I was on exchange in London for uni and I hadn't foiled for 6 months. And I got this I just really wanted to do it. And I also had this dream in my head of filming something and putting it all together. And I obviously didn't think it was gonna happen so quickly, to be honest. It was kind of like a goal for maybe this year. But then at the end of last year, Reedy offered me to go on that trip. And I went, okay, this is my opportunity. This is an amazing trip. I wanna film it all. I wanna document it and make something out of it. So yeah, we did that. And then I got to the end, started editing it. And I think the first 2 minutes of the video probably took me 20 hours to edit. And it's a 40...
Is this something that you've always liked doing, like editing and creating content, or did you...
Yeah.
What was the motivation there? Because not everyone's making videos and not everyone's ambitious like this. What was the driving factor there?
I always loved making videos of like family holidays when we go on surf trips, and I wouldn't share it anywhere. I'd just make it and then show my family, and then I'd watch it like 1,000 times and it would make me like stoked to see we'd done cool stuff. But yeah, I don't know, I hadn't, and then I've also done the podcast. So I feel like one thing I learned from doing the podcast is like trying to tell a story and how you can kind of tell a good story, as opposed to just, probably similar to what you're trying to do right now, get the personal side of this whole event as opposed to just people ripping. So I think that was something that I've sort of worked on through the podcast, even though it wasn't directly me, but it's like asking the right questions, right? Yeah. To get people to give you good answers.
So you know how hard it is to actually listen and talk to someone, and while you're doing that, actually thinking about what the interesting question is after.
Yeah, I get it. It's hard. It's really hard. But it's something, it's a skill that like you get way better at with practice. I think I've just been lucky that I got the opportunity to practice it like when I was like 18. So just worked on it from there.
Epic. So you're traveling around Australia.
Yeah.
And you're on your own?
Yes, so the first part of the trip, Reedy, who was one of the guys in the film, he's a paramedic and also like basically gave us the whole idea to the trip. He came with me to do that. But yeah, from there it's just been me basically. But it doesn't feel like I'm alone because every step of the way I'll reach out to a foiler or someone and they'll go, I can link you up with accommodation, I can help you with cars, all that kind of stuff. Like Lisa's a perfect example. I wanted to come up to Foilfest. I sent her a message and she's offered to like help me with accommodation here. But it's basically been like that the whole way. It's actually pretty remarkable. I doubt there's many like ways you could travel and do this if you didn't have that kind of community of people wanting to help you. So that's been cool.
Epic. So you've kind of been Yeah, you haven't been alone here. Let's go out a bit out of the wind up here.
Yeah, okay.
That sounds great. So you're meeting lots of people.
Yeah.
And at your age, you kind of pulling your hair out, trying to figure out how to spend money and days. Oh, your accommodation's sorted, but
yeah. No, definitely. I think.
What's the biggest hurdle being on tour?
The biggest, I reckon it's probably. I'd say that money thing is accurate, because I sort of had this. I'm trying to sell tickets to my events, in an attempt to make maybe break even on the trip, but it's not going to break even. I sort of realized about halfway through that it won't break even. Okay. And I'm also going to Hawaii this year, and I started adding up all the math, and it's not quite adding up. But I think the answer is I'll just take a loan from my parents or something and make the most of it. I'm fortunate that I can do that, but yeah, it's been.
So for any ambitious youngster who wants to follow in your footsteps, it's a hard road, and you're living a beautiful lifestyle and appreciating a great life, but you're not really paying off your mortgage.
No, you're not paying off. If you want to go do something certainly that's what I learned. I maybe had this dream when I started. I was like, oh man, maybe you could make films and show them, and there'll be enough attention and you can sell enough tickets that you can support yourself from doing that. But I don't think that is, or at least at the moment it doesn't seem possible. I'm sure someone could do it but maybe foiling's not quite big enough either yet.
Well, maybe you got to think outside the box, and if you get good enough at doing your documentaries, possibly you'll get work doing within one of the big corporations.
Yeah. I think you'd have to do it for a company like Red Bull or something like that. I reckon if you did it through there, you could make it worthwhile as a living.
If I ever had any advice for any young people, it would be let life take you where it takes you.
Yeah.
Because you can't force it to go somewhere.
Nah.
And always go as hard as you can in whatever you do.
I think that, that's one thing that the one thing I have learned as well is just trying to relax a bit about the whole thing, and not get too caught. It's not the be all end all. If 20 people, if you wanted to get 40 people to come to an event and only 20 people come, you shouldn't look at it as a failure. It's you've still got 20 people there. 20 people want to come see something you've made. It's pretty cool. So I've definitely, and then you get to the end, and even though there's only 20 people there and everyone likes it, and you're like, well, that was still super worth it. If I can make 20 people go, wow, that was cool, 100% worth the effort. Yeah. And
do you get the stresses before the show?
Oh,
you have
100%.
To go to the bathroom every time?
No, for me it happens the morning of. When I wake up that morning that I'm showing it in the afternoon, I don't want to get up. I don't want to do anything. Just get this, just want to lay there and not look at my phone, not check what's happening. But then for me, maybe 3 hours before it all starts happening, and then it feels good. It feels better. Yeah.
And what about so you open up these cinemas, have you got a repeated speech that you know by heart now, or is it coming from the heart every time? Or
I sort of wing it. Hey, yeah. I say thank you to the sponsors each time, and then I kind of just go from there. But normally I don't do a long speech beforehand, and then normally people ask questions afterwards. So I'm getting better at answering the questions too. But yeah. So
there's no special ritual, do you wear the same undies every time before a show?
I have this one shirt that I always wear.
Always the same shirt?
Yeah. It's this blue one that Mum bought me that I thought was really cool. It's got flowers here. I don't know, I just think it's a cool shirt, and it makes me feel like
Mum supports there, right?
Yeah, Mum. Oh yeah. Actually, that's something I should say. Although I made the whole thing myself, I feel the entire time I've had crazy amounts of support from people. So it's Mum, my family, my dad, they've watched the film with me 20 times and given feedback. And then Mum would, if I have for example, I'm doing a show in Melbourne, and my parents have family friends there. I'm staying with them, and then they've got some of their family friends to come along so that we break even on the cinema hire and stuff. So yeah, I've had support along the way.
Epic.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're going to enjoy this and mature by the end of it fast. Are you, what's the next ambitious goal? And how much longer is this? Sorry, before you do that.
Yeah.
When does this tour finish?
So this is probably about week 3, I've almost been away for a month now. And so the next stop I'm going to Hobart, and then from there to Melbourne and Adelaide and home. So about just a bit under 3 weeks left. And I'm really looking forward to Hobart actually. Everyone here has been telling me cool places to go visit. So I'm excited to go foil, but also maybe to see some cool spots in Hobart.
I'll put you in touch with two guys I know.
Yeah, sick. Yeah, epic.
And then really. Any ideas of what's next?
Well...
You're going to uni, you're going to...
Yeah, okay.
What are you going to do?
So I am... From year 12, I got into medicine, basically. And then I did an undergraduate science degree. It's how the uni course works in WA. You do an undergrad course and then you go postgrad. So this year was like my year off. And then next year I start medicine.
Yeah, okay.
So, I guess...
I'm going to say, like before we continue, it's amazing how many people are incredibly smart at foiling, or in the
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it without being rude, but there's a lot of smart people that are foilers.
Yeah.
That have been very successful in their lives. Here's another doctor. Where were you yesterday, mate? We had a dislocated shoulder.
Yeah. I didn't do anything, did I?
You were fainting in the background.
I was like, I've got a lot to learn for that. Yeah, see, that's why it's the next big challenge. I don't know if it's necessarily something that I'll be very good at. But
faint with blood or what?
No, I don't faint with blood. I don't. But no, I haven't done any study of that kind of stuff before. So it's really like I've got to launch myself in the deep end, I think, next year. But I'm excited. It feels like a challenge that I want to do. The reason I did the science undergrad is I went, maybe I don't want to be a doctor. But then the more I did the science undergrad, I was like, I like the options of being able to do kind of anything within medicine. It seems like an exciting pathway. So yeah, what I have seen is it's like one of those things where you put your head down and you've got to commit to it and see it through. So I think if there's one thing I've learned from like doing this trip and stuff, it's if you go in like 100%, often people kind of recognize that and are willing to help you out in some ways. So that's definitely what I felt. Yeah. But excited for that. Also excited for Hawaii. It'll be my first time to do the Hawaiian races this year.
The Molokai.
The Molokai.
Yeah. Paul supporting you on that one?
A little bit. Yeah, but I'm not a sponsored rider for Code Foils, so I haven't signed any paperwork. Sonova...
you look sponsored, dude. You got stickers everywhere, you got foils everywhere.
I know.
You're talking the talk like a sponsored rider.
Yeah.
Get this man.
Code, I need some prototype M2O wings. If you're listening to this, James, well, I can just tell James, he's out in the water now. We need some smaller prototype wings because the 600's not small enough if it's properly windy.
James knows.
Yeah. But hopefully we have some of that before this year's race. I don't think I could swap to any other gear now because I'm just so used to it. And particularly for like racing, I think the most important thing is not falling. So having the practice on gear, is super important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So I've asked this question to most.
Mm-hmm.
Bucket list, anything you really want to do in life? Anything you want to achieve?
It's kind of weird because I feel like what's happened this year was almost like my bucket list that I was dreaming of last year.
So you've ticked one?
So I feel like this year was a tick of a bucket list item, and I'm sure I'll get one coming forward soon. But honestly, at the moment, I really would love to just be home for a little bit and chill out. But then, I'll think of some other stuff. You guys were talking about heli skiing earlier. Would love to go heli skiing.
Yeah, I think everyone wants to do it.
You know what I'd love to do? I really want to learn to paraglide, and Mum will hate me saying that, but I really want to learn to hang glide. I don't know which one it is. The one where you sit underneath.
Mate, those things are dangerous.
I know.
But sometimes you got to do what you want to do.
Yeah, Mum would not want me to do that. I can tell you that much. But maybe skydiving or something, that'd be pretty cool. I feel like that would tick off the adrenaline. It seems a bit similar to downwinding and stuff like that. So
I've never done it. I've never skydived. And never
bucket list item for you?
Nah, I don't care about it. Hey, for some reason, I like things, and people will laugh at me, but I like things that are in control. If I have control, or it's okay. Like even if it's a big, like whatever I do, it's a calculated risk. Obviously, unknown things happen.
Yeah.
But with base jumping, if somebody packs your chute wrong,
it
doesn't matter if you've calculated the risk or if you're going to do something, if you've got an exit strategy. If your second chute doesn't go, well, ain't going nowhere. Like, you're going down, you know.
The big wave stuff that you guys do, like, does that feel like a calculated risk?
It's just got to remember, like, you got to think back of how long I've been doing it for. I've been doing that surfing for a long time. Something of an enjoyment, and it's like a chess game when it gets big. You start looking at waves and calculating which ones are going to be good. There's a lot of strategy. If you came out with us, we're not, like, I'm not just going out there and randomly go on a stupid one. Like, I know which ones are going to be good. I know which ones I can
Even
make.
that video of Oscar dropping down the mountain of water, like one that we saw recently that's gone all over Instagram, was that a calculated risk?
Well, that was him. I put him in that spot. But No, I've been wanting to go there for a long time, but I think it's just important to have some goals and do things. But I'm glad I got to figure out who you are a bit more, and
thank you for talking.
Very interesting and long. You actually are a very long interview.
Right, yeah. Well, that's actually, that's the first time anyone's interviewed me. I've interviewed plenty of people now.
Have you?
So that was my first opportunity to talk about myself a bit, which is kind of nice. But
hopefully I don't lose this SD card.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter anyway. Sometimes just talking about yourself is fun. Right. But I reckon it's cool that you're wanting to share people's stories, because I guess that's what I've tried to do a bit as well.
We'll see. I think people will be interested. Let's go. Let's find out. We'll know.
We'll know after you post the video. Yeah, for sure.
All right. Thanks, Hugh.
Sweet. Cheers.
Enjoy yourself.